So the market is pooping on itself again. Let's take a look at it. Looking at numbers, we got Bitcoin down 3.9% down to $45,185. Ethereum down 7.8% down to 3,200. Hex up 5%. Cardano down 10. Like, I don't know, man. All of the charts are pointing down except for the Hex one. I'm just reporting the facts. What happens? Let's look at the charts. So we got Bitcoin slipping down below 45. It's down to 44.9 right now. We couldn't get above this level right here and test the 34 on this 5-minute chart. I want to see us get above 48, but of course we didn't do that because there's a bunch of sellers. There's sellers everywhere. Nobody's really, Bitcoin isn't a thing anymore, man. And I think a lot of people are starting to, well, maybe not, but I realized a long time ago when things are up, not a good time to be trying to buy cryptos and stuff, man. You're playing hot potato. If you're still looking for cryptos, maybe stop because you're probably gonna lose a lot of value. Better off to just wait until nobody cares about crypto. When people stop caring, kind of like how they feel today. Nobody really cares about crypto today. One of those days, maybe buy something today, but I'm not buying any crypto today. Let's look at Bitcoin on a daily chart. So if you remember the other day, I was talking about how this is pretty much, I think we're about to repeat this move right here. So to visualize that, we can go to our handy dandy copy move button, and we're going to copy this entire move all the way up to right now even. Now what that does, it copies the entire move. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and slide this over to right here, put it right there. And if you can see, it looks like a perfect fit. It looks really good. And even actually, we could even see how we could be connecting these two levels right here and continue to just get rejected going into 2022. And then maybe have one more rollover, and that'll probably be the bottom because the halving will start getting closer towards the end of that year. And it'll still be a year away. So let's just shut up about Bitcoin. Let's look at Hex. The halving is a long way away for Bitcoin. And that's the only thing to really get hyped about for Bitcoin. Hex, on the other hand, has a lot of speculation going for it right now as far as post-chain goes. Richard Hart tweeting out yesterday, good news on that post-chain sync issue. It's solved. We get to move on to the next phase of testing. So that bug they were talking about with the syncing issue, it's finally squashed. So probably close to getting something. Hey, I'm not going to expect anything. I'm not expecting any work from anybody. I don't expect a damn thing. But this Hex chart is continuing to go up because people do. Other people expect stuff. And I'm going off of that. People are expecting post-chain to come out. So price just keeps going up. Looking at Hex on the daily chart, it's reaching new highs pretty much every single day. You know, that is always a cautious, that you always want to be cautious when that's happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this trend line up to here. I can see a situation where we do pull back to the support line, but I don't think it's going to happen until after post-chain or really close to it. A lot of people are expecting $1. I think it'll at least go to $1. Could be wrong. Could always be wrong, but it's the one I'm the most interested in. Could pull back to this 200 too, which is at 8 cents. I mean, that could really scare a lot of people. It'll pull back to 8 cents, man. That'd be crazy. But let's look at Hex daily stats and see what I think is really going to happen. Price is 48.4. T-share, $9,000 per T-share. Wow. At a rate of 18,616 Hex. Hex and liquidity is down to 53.1 million. USDC is up to 35 million and ETH is up to 1.8 thousand. Wow. This thing is filling up with all of the coins that sellers want. USDC and ETH. The problem with that is a lot of this Hex is leaving out. Another phenomenon I'm noticing is the amount of circulating Hex is going down daily. That means that's telling me that there is more Hex being burned via staking than there is being produced, which is also a good sign. Depending on how you want to look at it, there's always that catch-22 with the circulating supply, because the more red here, the worse days we're going to have as far as payout per T-share. This number is going to go down as more people stake, but more people stake means less Hex floating around on the market, which means less Hex that can go into this liquidity pool. And that's why we're seeing, you know, it's just a bunch of factors, a bunch of math that makes the numbers do things. That's all it is. We can see that the change in circulating supply, we can see that being displayed here through stake number of coins. This number has been climbing and climbing and climbing. I want this number to go to 100. I want to see this 15 years from now. I want this to say 99.84. I want to see how this number has changed over time. 9.7, 9.7, 9.6, 9.5, 9. So it looks like it's peaked out at 9.81, 82. Nope, 9.89. Do I see a 10? Do I hear a 10? Do I hear 10? Do I hear 10? Oh, big payday. 12%. You know, I'm not gonna really count these big payday type days where everybody got excited and everybody locked up all the OA and all that locked up. But on average, we haven't really been above 10% staked. Looks like we may be approaching that. Hopping over to Hex.view, vision, we can see the amount of stakes being opened on a daily basis for the past month. It's been going up. There's a lot of stakes being opened. We're doing about 1,000, 1,300 stakes per day right now. 1,300 new stakes with gas prices as high as they are. Pulse Chain, I mean, guys, this thing is performing well with gas prices at astronomical rates. I mean, I'm trying to stake over here. I'm paying like $400 in year-long stakes. I got stakes coming out from a year ago. I gotta pay $400 just to close it. And people still opening stakes. So when Pulse Chain comes out, I'm not gonna expect anything here. But if Pulse Chain were to come out and have very low, efficient gas prices, I expect a lot more HEX to be staked than just these 1,300 open stakes. I mean, you can stake a penny, for 15 years. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine how many people that could help? Because there's weak hands everywhere. People just cannot hold on to crypto, man. They need to be locked up. Now, a question I'm getting all the time is what happens when all of the HEX is gone from the liquidity pool? We're seeing it drop by about 1 million every couple of days. Now it's at 53. Every time the price goes up, that means HEX is leaving this liquidity. So there is the possibility for this number to get really, really low. So someone is asking, what happens if there's no HEX in the liquidity? That's pretty much impossible. It'll always be at least 0.01 HEX in liquidity, but it'll just be worth a lot. Now, could that happen? I don't think so. I don't think it'll ever get to a really, really low amount of HEX unless all of the HEX is locked up. And that's impossible because I'm gonna keep at least a little bit liquid for those days, right? When this is at like 1,000 HEX, it could be a long, long time from now. I guess we could probably do some math and see how much it's dropping, the average rate that it's dropping, to see how long it would take until it got to 1,000 HEX, which is possible. But are you gonna still have some HEX when that day comes? Because if there's 1,000 HEX in here or 1 HEX in here, price is gonna be like $1 million, $2 million per 1 HEX coin. Although it is mathematically possible, the amount of variables that would have to be lined up in place would have to be astronomical. It would have to be no one selling any HEX. Everyone's lost their HEX. It's been 15 years. Yes. So what we want to see is we want to see this number going down. I want to see this number going down, these going up. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And if it does, great, we're rich.